Thank you, thank you. Can you all hear me okay? Oh, good, right. It's so nice that you're here on this beautiful sunny July day. Thank you so much. So yeah, my name's Amy and I'm Growth Director at Incubeta. And I just wanted to get a show of hands first of all as to who falls under this Gen Z category. So if you're if you're 23 or younger, please raise your hand. I know you two are. Okay, great. So there's no Gen Zs here, which means that nobody can heckle or disagree with my content, which is fabulous. Okay, let's get started with the problem. So in the last 18 months, UK consumers have faced the worst energy crisis in 60 years. You all know this is nothing new, but bear with me. And they've endured double-digit inflation and rapid interest rate rises. And also, last autumn, consumer confidence hit the lowest level since data first started to be collected in the 1970s. And you'll all be familiar with the doom and the gloom in the press. Consumers are cutting non-essential spending, marketing budget is being halved, the cost of media is on the rise and it's on the rise fast. And headlines such as these, which although in part true, do cause panic to us as marketers. But I'm here to tell you that there's a group of specific people who are riding the storm, contributing to revenue, and continuing to put the money into the pockets of the brands that they love, even in the face of a recession. There's no doom and gloom here. They are Gen Z, and arguably one of the most important demographic of a customer strategy. So what is this generation doing that none other is? 3 small letters which hold a huge impact. AOV, average order value. The past year, AOV has increased by 15% and nearly triple the annual increase from 2021 into 2022. But with everything else seeing a decline, since the bounce back from COVID especially, why is AOV so strong? Why has this happened? Let's dig a little bit deeper. So we all know that retailers have had to adapt quite quickly after the pandemic, and they've had to become more authentic. Their USPs have had to be even more competitive than usual, and generally speaking, they've had to keep up demand as their customers had more expendable income. This contributed to an increase in AOV in general. But now that's tailed off. The recent rise in AOV in Gen Z has written all over it, and it's not just due to the amount of money that they have. It's down to their emotional behavior. So I'm very briefly going to discuss what I mean by this, why behavioral science plays a huge role in this generation and this KPI specifically. So for those of you who don't know, I'm not a psychology expert, but bear with me, and I'm really hoping that there's no psychology experts in the room now who can dig a bit deeper into this. But there are 4 main types of consumer behavior. Complex buying behavior, dissonance reducing buying behavior, habitual buying behavior, and variety seeking. Okay, complex buying behavior. This occurs when the consumer is highly involved with the purchase and when there are significant differences between brands. So these things typically occur with high-priced items such as cars or holidays. But the same psychology applies to a more cash-strapped consumer who is making an average price purchase. So just keep that in mind. Dissonance reducing buying behavior occurs when consumers is highly involved with the purchase of an item, but they have a hard time pinpointing the difference between various brands. So this is very important for this demographic from an authenticity perspective. And habitual buying, the behavior where they make repeat purchases several times on an already well-known brand, but they also don't necessarily have any loyalty and they really expect a seamless customer journey. Variety-seeking behavior. In this case, a consumer switches among brands for the sake of a variety of curiosity or dissatisfaction. For example, they may buy soap from one brand 1 month, and then a few months later, they may buy soap from another brand just because they want a change of scent. But what's the one thing that they all have in common? Gen Z is the first demographic to throw these buying behaviours up in the air. There's no rhyme or reason to their shopping habits. They don't have the pressures other demographics have in terms of essential spending. They are native to a digital landscape other generations aren't. And they are less trustworthy and harder to satisfy, which is really glad that no Gen Zs are in the audience to heckle me right now. So, taking it back to Gen Z for a little bit and the topic of AOV, this super important customer of yours, there's a reason why they're flying the flag. First of all, they're the first generation fully raised in a digital world. They spend more time online than any other group. And as a generation, research has shown that they are more likely to be loyal to a brand and more likely to spend more in one single purchase. They are completely omni-channel. And having a consistent brand messaging across your channels is a sure way to ensure that advocacy and brand trust resonates with this audience. So we've spoken about how you can use this generation who shop seemingly unaware of the storm to your advantage. 3 things here. First of all, meet them at their emotional state. Second of all, make the shopping process linear rather than non-linear, and also be authentic. So, fun fact that not many people will know, maybe will know because obviously we're all marketers here, but Gen Z will soon take over as the largest generation, and it's important that you move as they move. So, first things first, identify your audience's triggers and meet them with your product at the right place at the right time. So think about your full funnel approach here. Think about your full funnel approach to marketing and to media and where they will meet you at that point. Diversify your social mix. Diversify your social mix. Don't sit comfortably. Gen Z's use of TikTok actually outperforms any other social platform. So ensure that this is something which is on your agenda, and if it's not, then definitely would highly recommend you speak to me afterwards to look into it. It's amazing. And finally, the use of first-party data. This is the cornerstone of any data-driven, customer-centric strategy intended to serve digital-first consumers such as Gen Z. Secondly, create a non-linear shopping experience. I'm going to rush through this a little bit because I've just been told I've only got 2 minutes left. So first of all, ensure your website is fit for purpose. USPs are competitive and stock availability is on point. Secondly, make your e-commerce checkout frictionless. And finally, be authentic. So what we want to do here is drive loyalty. If you don't already, consider this as a big part of your LTV strategy. AOV and repeat purchases will definitely thank you later for it. And another interesting fact, if I can have another minute, is that Gen Z are one of the biggest generations to rebel against influencer content, essentially seeing through what's actually being marketed rather than honestly recommended. So you need to make your creative and the formats when you push them out work hard. And finally, consider local initiatives as well. Look into how you make your pricing dynamic, or simply try and be more real with the generation through your comms. So to sum up, hopefully I'm on time. The 3 things that I want you to take away from this is 1, not to underestimate the influence of emotions on consumer spending. Secondly, harness this growing demographic. Harness the power that they have in terms of spending, and I encourage you to look into your data and identify the facts contributing to strong AOVs within your business. And finally, it goes without saying, but make sure that you have the foundations in place for acquiring these influential audiences. You have immense amount of data at your fingertips. Make sure that you are using them. Make sure that you are actually looking into it and bringing these customers, these generations to life, and make sure that you're targeting them in a personalized way. And also, I'd love for you to download the white paper on retail resilience as well. The QR code hasn't come up, but I can send you that afterwards. And actually, Rob's over there with all of the comms, should you want it at the end. And finally, thank you so much for my quick 10 minutes, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.